The illusion of spirituality in a vote for Trump. Spirituality is a path of awakening, a journey toward compassion, wisdom, and truth. It is the pursuit of something greater than the self, whether through love, kindness, or a commitment to justice. Yet, in the shadow of this higher calling, a contradiction emerges. Can one walk a spiritual path and cast a vote for Donald Trump? The answer, when examined through the lens of spiritual integrity, becomes clear. A vote is not just a choice, it is an affirmation of values. And Trump, by every measure, embodies the very forces that spirituality seeks to transcend: ego, division, greed, and deception. The cult of self. Over the spirit, true spirituality demands the surrender of ego, the release of the self's endless craving for power and validation. Every great spiritual teacher, from Jesus to the Buddha, warned against arrogance and material obsession. Yet Trump, a man who glorifies wealth, ridicules the vulnerable, and exalts himself above all, is the embodiment of ego run amok. To support him is to validate this mindset, to say, this is acceptable. This is what leadership should be. But the spiritual path does not tolerate hypocrisy. One cannot claim to seek inner peace while celebrating cruelty. One cannot pray for wisdom while defending ignorance. And one cannot serve the divine while pledging loyalty to a man who serves only himself. The absence of compassion. At the heart of all spiritual traditions lies a single principle: love for others. Whether it is the Christian call to love thy neighbor, the Buddhist practice of metta, loving kindness, or the Sufi devotion to divine love, spirituality teaches that we are all interconnected. Trump's rhetoric and policies, however, have been built on the opposite: division, fear, and exclusion. He has separated children from their parents, mocked the disabled, inflamed racial hatred, and turned his back on the suffering. To vote for him is to say that these acts are secondary to personal benefit. It is to sacrifice compassion at the altar of convenience. A truly spiritual person does not turn away from suffering. They do not excuse cruelty because it serves their interests. Instead, they recognize that to harm another is to harm the self, because we are all one. The worship of falsehoods. Spirituality thrives on truth. Whether in the search for enlightenment or the commitment to justice, every genuine spiritual journey is rooted in honesty. Lies are illusions that keep us bound to suffering, and those who spread them lead others deeper into darkness. Trump's presidency has been defined by an unprecedented distortion of reality. From denying scientific facts to perpetuating conspiracy theories, his words have sown confusion and fear. His followers, often unknowingly, have become vessels for these falsehoods, repeating them as if they were divine revelations. But no one can walk a spiritual path while clinging to lies. To support Trump requires a willful rejection of truth, a trade that no genuine seeker of wisdom would ever make. Fear as a guiding force. Spirituality is about liberation, freedom from the chains of fear, hatred, and greed. Yet Trump's entire political existence is fueled by these very forces. His speeches are filled with warnings of others who seek to destroy America. His policies favor the rich at the expense of the poor. His vision for the world is not one of unity but of walls, bans, and enemies. A truly spiritual person sees through this illusion. They know that fear is the great deceiver, the force that keeps humanity divided. They understand that love, not paranoia, is the highest truth, and they would never allow fear to dictate their choices, let alone their vote. The path forward. To vote for Trump is to affirm greed over generosity, division over unity, deception over truth, and cruelty over kindness. It is to reject the fundamental principles that define a spiritual life. Some may argue that no politician is perfect, that all leaders are flawed. This is true, but spirituality does not demand perfection. It demands effort, discernment, and an unwavering commitment to what is right. It is not about finding a leader without flaws, but about refusing to support one whose very essence is in opposition to the divine. In the end, a vote is more than a political act. It is a spiritual statement, and no one who truly walks a path of enlightenment can, in good conscience, cast their vote for a man who stands in direct opposition to all that is sacred.